I've been thinking a lot about development in terms of like hardware and software. Okay, when we were coming up, there felt like there was a very heavy emphasis on the software development of the athlete. Software development being, are you capable of understanding every play? Like if you wanted to play varsity basketball, you
Mhm.
couldn't play if you didn't understand the plays. And if you were a point guard, you had a responsibility to not just understand the plays, but understand what everyone's responsibility was on every single play. You needed to know what to do if the play broke down. There was a greater intellectual responsibility that you had on that team, regardless of where your skill set or where the hardware existed, right? You had a greater responsibility to understand defensive rotation, right? You were held accountable to talk. You had a greater responsibility to understand what to do off ball, right? If you're at the slot and you're driving down the slot and I'm at the wing, I need to be sliding to the corner, right? These are things that were kind of instituted through not only grassroots basketball, but things you also learn in pickup settings.
Mhm. That's the biggest one to pick
Nowadays,
up.
it's huge. Nowadays, it feels like there's a far greater emphasis on the hardware development. And when I think about hardware, I'm thinking about passing, shooting, dribbling, defensive skill, um, and just skill set creativity.
Yeah. I was
These
about to say
players,
the creativity to me. That's the big one. I feel like is
it's
a
it's
primary focus.
definitely grown, right? But that's a byproduct of going into the gym, being with the trainer, and repping all of these moves against cones, which don't translate to game like scenarios because you and I both know that basketball is an instinctive game. I cannot predict the way the defender is going to respond when I drive left. I can't predict exactly where the help defense is going to come from on the weak side of the floor. So instead of having a prepackaged set of moves, what I need to do is have a greater understanding of how do I read and react to every scenario in the game. And that to me is what is hindering a lot of the progress and development at each level. I just got done coaching at the collegiate level. I promise you, bro, I don't care how talented or how much hardware freshmen have when they transition to the collegiate level, all of them struggle to understand the when and the why. They understand the what and the how. They know what to do. They know how to do it. They don't understand why they're doing it. They don't understand when to do it. And you and I both know basketball is played within the parameters of the why and the when. The what and the how,
That's a
that
byproduct again, like
yeah,
to
that
your
shit is
point
subjective.
of yeah. Mm.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you get. I was like that is what you're saying. That is a byproduct of you doing these other things. Like that. That is the foundation. That is a foundational piece that you will get. But these two pieces, you have to understand this, like especially the how and why. Because if you don't understand that, at that point, to me, if you don't understand the how and the why, you are just a talented player who would just be just talent, and you would never be able to really thrive in an NBA system where you may have to play a role. And if you don't understand the how and the why, you're screwed.
I.e., John Morant.
Yeah.
I.e., what's the boy name in New Orleans? Jesus Christ, I just forgot his name.
Zion.
Thank you, Jesus Christ. I don't know
Zion.
why.
Zion.
Just blanked on
Yeah.
him. But I.e. Zion. Um, and to some extent, a few other young guys who I think are still kind of struggling to understand the why. Even a guy like Evan Mobley, right? He is a world
Yeah.
class talent, and he still is struggling to understand how to fit in an offense as a 7 footer.
And he's so skilled. He's
So
so skilled,
skilled.
bro. He's so skilled.
But the lack of software development permeates at the grassroots level, both on the boys and the girls side. And really now it's affecting the development from really the middle school all the way up to the collegiate level.
Yo.
Because there's still things that, i.e., someone like Khalil Ware, that coaches are still talking about that have nothing to do with the hardware skill set. We're talking about a guy like in Khalil Ware who could potentially, from Spo's perspective, maybe subconsciously playing poorly, almost on purpose. Like that is the idea you've given your coach that
Hmm.
you're so far away from understanding some of the software skills to be a pro that this nigga
Hmm.
thinks that you are intentionally.
And I know it's
Doing
Pistons'
the
fault.
wrong things to not play, that is crazy.
I know it's
I've
Pistons'
never heard a
fault.
coach say that, right? But again, it speaks back to the lack of having that dual development, man. You got to have both. And I think we're going to keep losing the development race to international players if we don't put a greater emphasis in soft.